ARCR 2024 Tops Update Average Rookie Card Rankings. Happy hobby. I'm David Gonos, and if you're a sports card collector and you're working with a limited budget, that's what we do, so make sure you subscribe to this channel. But even before you do that, just watch the video. You'll enjoy it, and you'll be like, hey, that was valuable. I enjoyed that. I'm going to subscribe. Today, very valuable, we talk about the average rookie card rankings. What is that, Dave? Explain to me. What is this ARCR you speak of for 2024 Tops Update Baseball? Basically, what it is if you're a fantasy baseball player, a fantasy football player, you're probably familiar with average draft position, ADP. Basically, what that does, it takes all the drafts and it tells you this is where he was average draft. That's his average draft position, ADP. This is where this player was average draft position. Now, this was his average draft position. Goes through, and then basically the average rankings for everybody. It's the group think. It's the mob think. It's what the consensus is among all of us. So in this case, I'm using my rankings, davidgonos.com. I'm also using the 2024 Tops Update rankings for Scotty B Cards, probably the biggest. Let's just say he's the biggest guy in the baseball card industry to do ranking such stuff like this. So we'll give him credit for that. He's awesome. We love Scotty B Cards. And then finally, we're also doing Card Lines, their rankings for the 2024 Tops Update Baseball Rookie Card rankings. They do on their side. They do a really good job. We appreciate them. So let's discuss this. 2024 Tops Update. There's a lot of big guys in here. There's some big names. So we're going to get into it. We're not going to say, here's the rankings. I'm not just here it is. Here's the average. I'm not doing that. I'm going to tell you what's happening with those players, why they're good, what happened to them since, like what happened to them this season. Are they still good? What do we think of them going forward? So we're going to talk about that a little bit. I've done this already. You can go back and check the 2024 Top Series 1 ARCR, the top 2024 Tops Baseball Series 2. I did the ARCR for that also. Quite enjoyable. And then coming up later this year, I'm going to do my overall 2024 Tops Rookie Card Rankings. That's all of these series mashed together. They're flagship rankings for the entire year. And I'll do that, culminate, put it all together, and figure out which was the best rookie cards to get this year of any series. So we'll figure that out too. So let's get into this. I'll go ahead and pull up this graph or this table here for you to watch, and you can kind of get an idea what I'm looking at. As you see you got the top 4 guys. That's the top tier. Then you got tiers below it. Got the card number, the age of the player for this year, for this 2024 season, what their average rank is after the 3 rankings that I pulled from. David Gonos, Scotty B Cards, and Card Lines. So first, we start off with Paul Skeens. Scotty B Cards nailed him with the number 1 overall. Just to be fair, Patrick Imhoff also ranked him as his number 1 rookie card in the 2024 Tops Update Series. My thing is, he's the pitcher. Pitchers aren't that collectible. But it looks like with these rankings, I was wrong. Because the average rankings after that, it's a little muddled in that top tier. So for Paul Skeens, my guy ended up being the National League Rookie of the Year. I was not expecting that. He was the first overall pick in the 2023 MLB draft. He's the first rookie ever to start the All-Star game after the year he was drafted. So he's a starter in the 2024 MLB All-Star game. He's definitely considered one of the best rookie pitchers right now. He went 11-3 with a sub-2 ERA. He's pretty good. He's the fastest number 1 selection to reach the majors in 35 years. Ben McDonald, anyone? Anybody remember Ben McDonald? Baltimore Orioles? Was he LSU? I think he was the LSU guy. Anyways, we're moving on. Paul Skeens, he's pretty good. You don't need me to tell you that. Number 2 on this list was the guy I had ranked number 1. You'll notice the other two rankers did not even have, oh, actually, Cardlines had. No, yeah, the other two rankings did not have Jackson Merrill ranked in their top two. So if you want to bump him down, I understand. I have no problem with that. But Jackson Merrill, for me, before the season started, he was the third Jackson. There's the other guy, the other Jacksons. He was like Tito after Michael and Jermaine. He was the third guy. But as the season went on, we realized Jackson Merrill was the best rookie hitter this season. He had a higher slugging percentage at .500. He has a higher slugging percentage than Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. And he was a clutch hitter. And he played center field and shortstop, which is basically two incredibly collectible positions. And he played in 156 games, which is pretty great, especially for a guy that plays center field. It's a tough position. It's one that beats you up. All right, so that's number 2. We're moving down to number 3. What do you think of this guy? Jackson Holliday. I almost said Matt Holliday. So Jackson Holliday, his average ranking 3.3. He's tied with Jackson Chourio. Now, I put him above him in our rankings because Cardlines did put him as the number 1 rookie card in this 2024 Topps update. So here's the interesting thing about Jackson Holliday. He came up. He was disappointing. He wasn't very good. And they sent him back to the minors. They had to adjust his timing. He had a high leg kick. So they had to go back to the minors, get him to adjust to big league pitching, major league pitching. So that's something he's obviously going to work on in the offseason. He's likely going to be the starting second baseman for the Orioles in 2025. So to me, this looks like, now granted, he's the big name, but he's a buy now opportunity in my opinion. He's 20 years old. Super marketable, big time team. It's going to be in the running for the World Series for the next few years at least. He's a good pickup. Jackson Chourio, the third of the Jacksons. Jackson Chourio, at least for this ranking, he's also 20 years old. 3.3 average ranking. Now, Cardlines ranked him fifth, number 5 out of the top rookie cards. So at 20, it's interesting that Jackson Chourio was the youngest player to ever reach 20 home runs and 20 steals, the 2020 club. He's the youngest one ever. He also got off to a slow start, but he finished up, batted .275 for the year. He's exciting to watch. He is this all-star from Venezuela. He's going to be an all-star for years to come is what I think. So I think this is good. Maybe the next decade. We might be looking at all-star for the next decade. Great power, good speed. I like him. Just here's a nugget. Jackson Chourio. Pretty good. All right, so we'll move on to number 5. Now, if you notice, this is a second tier. These are guys only 1 vote inside the top 4. Oh, sorry, 2 votes inside the top 4. Number 5, Wyatt Langford, averaged a 4th ranking, number 4.0. He's a 22-year-old outfielder from my University of Florida Gators. I do love them Gators. He's the first player to hit for the cycle in his first 60 games. Like, he hit for the cycle, and he did it within his first 60 games. He's the first ever player to do that. He was also another guy that got off to a slow start. So you're seeing a theme here, guys, that started slow, but they started picking it up. As a matter of fact, Wyatt Langford ended up being the AL Rookie of the Month in September. Hey, guess what? He was the AL Player of the Month in September as well. So that bodes well for him. Again, the Rangers, they should be good for years to come, aside from this past year. Number 6, still in the top 2 tiers, Colt Keith, second baseman for Detroit. Solid second baseman. Shows some decent power in the first half. He actually hit better in the second half, but he's one of the better overall young hitting second baseman in the second half. We'll see how that goes for him. And then you see the drop-off in the tiers. Now we're into the purple or plum or whatever you would call that. Jared Jones, he's 23 years old. Now you also notice that these ages starting to get farther and farther away. The farther away they are, the less chance they'll have at building up great counting stats to give them a chance for the Hall of Fame, right? Jared Jones, strong start to the season. A lat injury kept him out for a couple months, and that slowed him down when he returned as well. Good things ahead for him. He strikes out a batter per inning. That's pretty great. That's something you want in a pitcher you're investing in or you're collecting. Number 8, Andy Pages. Now you'll notice 2 people voted or picked him as 8th overall, and Cardlines had him all the way to 15th. He's more of a defensive first center fielder. Dave Roberts does consider him a better hitter than a fielder, and he hit a walk-off single in the NLCS against the Braves, so how bad could he be, right? Number 9, Kyle Manzardo. Now, Manzardo, special place in my heart because he was a second-round pick for my Tampa Bay Rays in 2021. He ended up being the Rays minor league player of the year in 2022. They ended up trading him away to the Cleveland Guardians for Aaron Civale. But what are you going to do? Sometimes the Rays win them, sometimes they lose them. But the Rays had to make that move because they had Xavier Isaac in the minors. They needed starting pitching at the time, so they had to make the move. Xavier Isaac is our second best prospect right now, according to MLB.com, a slugging first baseman. So why am I talking? Manzardo goes to Cleveland. He's got to hit big as a first baseman. He's not really a big slugger. So as a first baseman, collectability-wise, 24 years old already. I don't know. We'll see about this one. But there's a reason why he's all the way down to 9th on this list. Number 10, Jonathan Clase. He was with Seattle, went to Toronto, and he had just 26 games in the majors, but he did show more promise with Toronto. He's not a big power guy, though, which you really do want that out of your the cards, the players you're collecting. Number 11, Jack Leiter, starting pitcher for Texas, second overall pick in 2021. And the Rangers played him. They played him a lot to give him some experience, which is good. He's 24 years old. Probably going to be more like a number 2 starting pitcher. Maybe not so much an ace, but number 2 guy for the Rangers. Then we go down through the rest of the list real quick. Jordan Beck, Justin Foscue, Victor Scott II, Christian Scott I, Cade Smith, Joey Loperfido, and Tyler Black. Those are all guys that also got votes. But as you can see, they also only got 1 vote from people. So they're pushed all the way down into the back end of these rankings. So I want to know from you, are there some players you think are too low in the ARCR? Do you think there should have been higher ranked? Do you think we're missing out on some of these guys? Let us know in the comments below. And I also asked my guys over in the Gonos.substack.com, that newsletter, Gonos.substack.com, where we have a chat over there. And I asked them, hey, give me your top rookies. So we had 3 guys that wanted to share their rankings, which I thought was pretty awesome. First, Josh over at MJ Family Time Cards, his YouTube channel. Make sure you check that out. His first 6 are the exact same as our average rookie card ranking, so I won't get into that. But 7th, he has Victor Scott, then Jared Jones, then Leiter, and then number 10, Pages. Patrick Imhoff, however, same 6, just in a little different order. He has Merrill first, then Wyatt Langford second. Skeen's all the way down to 5th, and Imhoff's a Pirates fan, which is interesting. One thing I want to say is Imhoff said that he gave values to each player based on position played, team, market, his age, and his performance in this first season, and he averaged values out, and that's what he came up with. So he has Merrill, Langford, Pages, Andy Pages third, Jackson Chourio, Skeens, Holiday, Colt Keith, and then he has Blaze Alexander, Victor Scott II, and Kyle Manzardo number 10. He said Pages was the big surprise, but he hits all the boxes. The market, the position played, team, all that stuff. So it's a good point. And he performed well this season. So he said it just seems to get overlooked. And he does, because, he's playing on a team with Shohei, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. I mean, it's some big names. Gets kind of lost in the shuffle. Scott Hedrick also shared his rankings. He has Skeens first, Chourio second, Merrill, Jackson Holiday, Wyatt Langford, Keith 6th. So the 6 are all the same, just in different order. Andy Pages 7th, Manzardo, Jared Jones, and Jack Leiter. So that's everybody's rankings. So you couldn't get more rankings if you tried. Go try. Whatever you do, make sure you have a happy hobby.